Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you're here today because we're diving into a topic that's not just about running a business, it's about making a difference. Today, we're talking about the journey to becoming a green bed and breakfast. Now, I know what you're thinking. Going green? Isn't that expensive, complicated, and maybe a little overwhelming? Well, let me tell you, it doesn't have to be. In fact, it can be one of the most rewarding decisions you'll ever make for your business, your guests, and the planet. And, as a bonus, it can even save you money in the long run. Yes, you heard that right. Saving the planet and saving money can go hand in hand. But before we dive into the nitty-gritty of eco-friendly practices, let me share a little secret with you. Running a successful bed and breakfast isn't just about having cozy rooms and delicious breakfasts. It's also about getting the word out there, connecting with the right guests, and making sure your property stands out in a crowded market. That's where platforms like Stay4U.com come in. If you haven't heard of it yet, Stay4U is a game changer for hospitality property owners. It's a platform that allows you to advertise your property, and here's the best part, deal directly with interested parties. No middlemen, no hefty commissions, just you and your future guests. It's like having a megaphone for your business, but without the noise. And trust me, when you're running a green B&B, having a platform that lets you tell your story directly to potential guests is invaluable. But more on that later. Let's get back to the green journey. So where do you start? Step 1. Energy efficiency. This is one of the easiest and most impactful changes you can make. Start by swapping out your old light bulbs for LEDs. They use a fraction of the energy and last way longer. I once had a B&B owner tell me they were hesitant to make the switch because they thought LEDs would be too cold and uninviting. Turns out, they just hadn't tried the warm-toned ones. Problem solved, and their energy bill? Cut by 30%. Not bad for a simple light bulb change. Next, take a look at your heating and cooling systems. Programmable thermostats are a game changer. You can set them to adjust the temperature when rooms aren't in use, which not only saves energy but also keeps your guests comfortable. And if you're feeling ambitious, consider investing in energy-efficient appliances. Yes, there's an upfront cost, but the long-term savings are worth it. Plus, you get to brag about your eco-friendly upgrades to your guests. Win-win. Step 2. Water conservation. This one's especially important if you're in an area with water shortages, but it's a good practice no matter where you are. Low-flow showerheads and faucets are a great place to start. They're affordable, easy to install, and your guests probably won't even notice the difference. Unless, of course, you go too low-flow, in which case you might get some feedback about the gentle drizzle in the shower. Balance is key here. Another tip? Install dual-flush toilets. They give guests the option to use less water when they don't need a full flush. And if you've got a garden, consider collecting rainwater for irrigation. It's a simple way to reduce your water usage and keep your plants happy. Just make sure to let your guests know about it. They'll love the idea of staying somewhere that's so in tune with nature. Step 3. Waste reduction. This is where things can get a little creative. Start by ditching single-use toiletries. Those tiny shampoo bottles might be cute, but they're terrible for the environment. Instead, invest in refillable dispensers. They're more cost-effective in the long run, and they cut down on plastic waste. Plus, you can use the opportunity to showcase local, eco-friendly products. Guests love discovering new things, and it's a great way to support local businesses. Speaking of waste, let's talk about recycling. Make it easy for your guests by providing clearly labeled bins in their rooms or common areas. And if you're feeling ambitious, consider starting a composting program. I know, composting can sound a little intimidating, but it's actually pretty simple, and it's a great way to reduce food waste. Just make sure to keep it tidy and odor-free, or you might end up with some less than pleasant guest reviews. Step 4. Sustainable food practices. If you serve breakfast, and I'm guessing you do since it's in the name, this is a fantastic opportunity to go green. Start by sourcing your ingredients locally. Not only does this reduce your carbon footprint, but it also supports local farmers and gives your guests a taste of the local flavor. And if you've got a garden, even better. There's nothing quite like serving fresh herbs or vegetables that you grew yourself. Just don't forget to mention it to your guests. They'll be impressed. And here's a little pro tip. Consider offering vegetarian or vegan options. They're not just trendy, they're also more sustainable. Even if most of your guests aren't vegetarian, they'll appreciate having the option. Plus, it's a great way to showcase your creativity in the kitchen. Who knows? You might even convert a few carnivores along the way. Step 5. Communication. This might be the most important step of all. Going green is great, but it's even better when your guests know about it. Use your website, social media, and in-room materials to share your sustainability story. Let guests know what you're doing and why it matters. And don't be afraid to get a little personal. Share your journey, your successes, and even your challenges. People love authenticity, and it's a great way to connect with your guests on a deeper level. And this is where stay4u.com can really shine. Imagine being able to showcase your green initiatives directly to potential guests. You can highlight your eco-friendly practices, share photos of your sustainable upgrades, and even include testimonials from guests who've loved their stay. It's a powerful way to attract like-minded travelers who value sustainability as much as you do. And because Stay4U lets you deal directly with interested parties, you can build those connections without worrying about third-party interference. It's your story, your way. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but what about the cost? Well, here's the good news. There are plenty of grants and incentives available for businesses that want to go green. Do a little research, and you might be surprised at what's out there. And remember, many of these changes will save you money in the long run. Think of it as an investment in your business, your guests, and the planet. So, there you have it. Energy efficiency, water conservation, waste reduction, sustainable food practices, and communication. It's not rocket science, but it does take commitment. And the best part? You don't have to do it all at once. Start small, take it one step at a time, and celebrate your progress along the way. Because every little change you make is a step toward a greener, more sustainable future. And who knows? Maybe one day your B&B will be the shining example that inspires others to follow in your footsteps. So, what are you waiting for? The journey starts now. Let's make it a great one. And don't forget to check out stay4u.com. It might just be the partner you need to take your business to the next level.